What's going on, Trollomaniacs? Welcome back to telesplashgaming, and we are halfway through 2020, and what a year it has been. Just in gaming alone, we've had delays, we've had cancellations, we've had 2 new consoles getting previewed. Cannot wait for those to drop. But before we get to that holiday launch, we've got to get through the third quarter in gaming. And I've got a baker's dozen of games to talk about for July, August, and September. So let's get into it and talk about gaming in the third quarter. Alright, so there's a bunch of games coming out third quarter. Can't cover them all, but I'm going to give you the 13 that I think are worth taking a look at. Starting off, the day before the 4th of July holiday hits, we have Iron Man for the PSVR. Now I know PSVR might be a little bit of a niche, but this game actually looks to be pretty fun. And if you want to jump into the old mech suit yourself, take on the Iron Man persona, this is probably the closest you're going to get, at least at this point. So if you're interested, Iron Man PSVR is dropping July 3rd. Next up is a sequel to Deadly Premonition. We have Deadly Premonition 2 dropping for the Nintendo Switch. The title is A Blessing in Disguise. That can mean a lot. In this game, you have a brand new protagonist named Aaliyah Davis, who's an FBI agent who reopens an old case. You got me at old case and FBI. With that, this is a connected universe to the original game. So even though the main character, Francis York Morgan, in the first game is not the main person you're controlling, he does make an appearance in this game. How? Who knows? I guess we'll find out. Even though the first game did not have great sales, it became a hidden gem. It became a cult classic, and that's what caused this game to actually get released. If you look at the scores, they were not fantastic, but there was enough good that people wanted a sequel. Hopefully they can right some of the wrongs of the original and make this one another instant hit. A roguelike indie game called Neon Abyss is next up. Now this actually makes an appearance on all platforms July 14th. This is a run and gun game that has you diving headfirst into the abyss to fell whatever lies beyond. This has item synergies, it has evolving dungeons, so it should have a ton of replayability. Hopefully. Oh, we're moving on to July 17th, in a game that you might have heard of over the last year or two. It's called Ghost of Tsushima. It's a PS4 exclusive. If you haven't heard of it, let me fill you in. This game looks freaking awesome. This is one of those pre-order right now while you got time for. Sucker Punch doesn't mess around. They might not have a humongous portfolio of games, but the games they put out like Sly Cooper, like Infamous, they're solid. They are fun, and I can't wait to jump in to this feudal Japan, Mongol invaded area to defend my honor. That's right, you take on the Ghost, a samurai who is fighting off the Mongol invasion. It actually is based off of true events that happened. We'll see how that really pans out, but it doesn't matter. Sucker Punch is looking to deliver a blockbuster, and I cannot wait to get into Ghost of Tsushima. Next up is the Papercraft RPG by Nintendo themselves, and it's Paper Mario: The Origami King. A new game with a familiar face. You're Mario, you're Luigi, you're playing with some friends, and you are trying to go through and fight off the Origami King. If you know anything about Paper Mario, this is probably the game for you, and for those of you that have a Switch that are looking for an RPG, this might be the one to pick up. Rounding out July, we have an Xbox One exclusive, and that's the survival game Grounded. This is a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids style game. You are shrunk down to the size of an ant, and you've got to fend for yourself in what place? The backyard. The backyard might seem like a fun place to have a barbecue and chill until you're about yay big. Then it becomes real serious, a fight for your life. This would be a pretty fun one. I definitely want to check this one out and see what they got up their sleeve. August 7th for the PS4, the Xbox, the PC, we have a Fast and the Furious game called Crossroads. This is a single-player cinematic action-adventure game that has you controlling cars, blowing up stuff with all sorts of gadgets, and it favors your favorite actors from the movies. This could be a really cool game that's kind of flying under the radar, or it could be a complete dud. Let's hope it's cool. We'll find out. Talk about a pleasant surprise. Dropping on all platforms except the Switch, sorry Switch, we get Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. This is a remaster of what was really considered a fantastic RPG that came out on the previous console generations. But it didn't do as well as many people thought. It put a lot of the companies that made it out of business, which is really unfortunate, but it's become one of those bucket list games for many people, including myself. I've been meaning to get into this game. I just bought it, and now it's getting a remaster. I have no reason not to play this. It has a really cool customization for your character build. It's got an open world. It's got some fun RPG elements to it. So if you're looking to get an RPG to finish off your summer, this could be the one to check out. Rounding out August, we have a Wasteland entry. Wasteland 3 drops, and if you're a fan of the series, you might have started this game in 1988. The original Wasteland came out in 1988 and finally got a sequel in 2014. So 6 years between 2 and 3 really isn't that bad if you're looking back at the original. With that, this is a story-driven RPG game that can be played solo if you're an introvert, or if you have one single friend that wants to play, you can play co-op, which is pretty cool. Being a story-driven tactical RPG, choices make a huge difference, which lead to quite a bit of replay value, which is great. So before you sell it off to a pawn shop, you might want to play this one a few times. The Avengers are planning on assembling again on the PS4, the Xbox, and the PC on September 4th. Although you play as a bunch of familiar heroes from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this is a separate story that's still part of that. A new threat has emerged, and the team has to join forces to repel it. Sounds a little generic, but I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. It does feature 4-player co-op, so this could be like the next iteration of like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. It definitely looks a little bit different than that, but with 4-player co-op, this could be a really, really fun Marvel game. Also dropping September 4th is a game that kind of just got announced recently that will be selling out instantly, and that is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, the game that made skateboarding cool across the country. If you weren't into skateboarding, it was the game that made you say, I think I want to take up skateboarding. 3 broken cankles later, you holding that thing up, you grab your controller, and you kept playing Tony Hawk. This is the best skateboarding game ever made. I can't wait to see what they do. These remasters look so good, they just have to nail the gameplay. Every gamer from the late 90s, early 2000s is looking forward to this. I'm telling you, this is a must-buy. September 17th. Pretty much all I gotta say. Because unless your internet signal dropped 2 years ago and you haven't had a chance to get those gerbils back on the wheel and pop that dial-up in, you know that Cyberpunk 2077 is dropping. Lastly is Ari and the Secret of the Seasons, or is it Ari? I think it's Ari. Anyway, this is coming to every platform, including the PC. This action-adventure game requires the use of seasons to conquer all the enemies and tackle the random puzzles littering your playthrough. As Ari, you are the newest Guardian of Winter and the first female to ever hold this title. As the world of Valdez struggles to maintain peace, you must traverse the land and bring balance to your world. I'm inspired right now. Just reading that, I am inspired. But this game does look really cool. I love the aesthetics of it, and the gameplay, be able to control the seasons, really does kind of sound fun. So this is going to round out September and the third quarter for you. Alright gamers, there you've got it. The third quarter of gaming in a nutshell. There's quite a few more games coming, but I got the ones that I think you should be keeping your eyeballs locked onto. With that, let me know what you're looking forward to. Are you getting Ghost of Tsushima? Are you going to get Cyberpunk 2077? How about Tony Hawk? Did you pre-order that game with the skateboard? I tried, it was sold out in like 5 seconds. With that, thanks so much for subscribing, hanging out with me today. Much appreciated. Namaste. Good day, sir. Hasta luego. Bon voyage. Keep trolling. Keep rolling. We'll see you laters.